Okay, so I just wanted to show you something I built real quick. It's an offline wallet. So a wallet that where the sender doesn't have to be online to send a transaction. And if the merchant doesn't broadcast it, then the wallet will still be valid. So yeah, let's just do a demo real quick. So I got 2 pages here, one for the merchant and one for the customer. So the merchant, they just, let's go to Electron, they just set their address in the point of sale system. And then a customer comes and buys something for 10,000 Satoshis. And they're like, okay, yeah, pay this to this address, and then it will, the point of sale system will handle all the stuff. So now this is the customer side. This is all offline, except for this bottom line. So the wallet can be generated offline. The requests, the payments can be signed offline. So yeah, let's just have a look at this address. It's currently empty, so there are zero transactions here. So this was this is just a random address without any UTXOs, without any transactions. So we can get this payment request, and we can actually sign this payment without there being any coins in there. So we get this nice response. This would then be sent to the merchant, likely with this would be a QR code, and then the customer holds their phone with the QR code to a scanner, and then the merchant would get this QR code. They would scan it, build the transactions, like redeem the transaction, and send the money to themselves. And all the remaining coins that are in the wallet of the customer will be sent back. And all of that will be insured by the smart contract. Yeah, and also it will be insured by this nonce that the merchant can only redeem the coins once and not over and over again. So yeah, so currently this wallet is empty. Let's just fund it real quick with some sats. 10,000 sats. So now, yeah, we got the transaction in, and we can hit redeem. Yeah, so the transaction got through, and now we should see, yeah. So we got less than 10,000 sats. This is because the merchant has to pay the transaction fees in this scheme, because obviously he broadcast the transaction. And yeah, so this how does this work? So if I this is kind of weird. So we signed the payment before there was any money in the wallet. So for a normal wallet, you have to sign like this coin, and this coin has to this is the coin that I want to sign. But here, this can be done without any money in there, and then for future money, it gets yeah, the merchant can redeem their coins. So this is done with the wallet has just a private key and a nonce. So the nonce is just incrementing with each payment. So let's say I pay over and over again. Then you can see this number is increasing. It's negative 2 billion at the moment. And yeah, and then if the merchant doesn't broadcast the transaction for the nonce, like for the forward ending, and then the customer goes to the next store, then they generate a nonce with the number 43 at the ending. And then the next merchant just uses this nonce because it's bigger than what's currently in the smart contract. So the first merchant loses money, obviously, like we can't solve everything. But the second merchant is able to receive the money, even though the previous merchant like didn't spoil the and the previous merchant didn't spoil the whole wallet, which would be the case with a purely UTXO system. And yeah, that has some weird adversarial conditions. Like a merchant could technically hold the customer's funds hostage if the if the customer really doesn't have internet. And and also when I was in and when I was for like Roger when he was in Slovenia, there he really struggled to even pay with roaming because it just took so long. So it's like, yeah, even if you have internet, then you're still kind of like, it might be slow and it might take way longer than a credit card. And yeah, so I think this could be a really cool thing where which could be integrated into wallets. Like obviously this is really a stupid interface, but it's just to prove a point. I got the smart contract written in CashScript. Fortunately, some features I need aren't available in CashScript, and also the code is a bit inefficient. So and for payments, they have to really the contract has to be really small. So I optimized it by hand in in numbers, and so now currently the transaction fees are around 700 or up to 800 satoshis, which is kind of high, but it's just like 3 times of a normal Bitcoin Cash transaction, which is all like a third of a cent or something like that. So I think that's definitely fine. I'm not 100% sure if there's any exploit in this contract. Obviously, it's kind of like there's kind of a lot going on there, but it would be good enough for like testing it out and trying if it works. And once we got this thing is more secured and like, okay, there aren't any adversarial things that can happen, then I think it would be a good idea to add this to all sorts of wallets, maybe just as a like backup system, where like, okay, I got a little bit of my wallet in this offline wallet, and then only if I am actually offline, I will use this offline wallet, and if I'm online, I'll just use my ordinary UTXO based coins. And for the merchant, they could also be like, okay, if the customer is online, then I don't have to go through the bit more expensive offline transaction. Yeah, but this would solve. If this would be properly implemented with maybe NFC, maybe receiving a QR code and then sending it back would be a bit too cumbersome. But with NFC, this could be quite useful. But then they could also do a more complicated handshake with the back and forth. But it would take way longer to go like get the signature from like a broadcast provider or something like that. It would be way more complicated to do offline transactions with NFC, and even smart cards. So actually, what this code is doing is just literally signing this thing and this thing and this thing with Schnorr signatures, and where is it here? And then sending that, then putting the result in the signature here, which is then broadcast to to the merchant, which can then build a proper transaction and broadcast it on the network. Yeah, it's really kind of cool.